Hi class, this is your video feedback, and I wanted to congratulate all of you for getting this far so soon. I'm going to go through as a first-time user so that you can get, a reaction. I have looked at some of these, but I'm still going to go through as if I am trying to navigate your site for the first time. So, Shelby, there are things that I really like about this. The coloring and everything is really great. You have your copyright information updated. That's really good. Be careful about putting your actual phone number because you might want people to email you and then you can choose whether to give them your number. Otherwise, you really don't have any kind of control over where it goes and who may be, trying to contact you. Ordinarily, if we have this many lines, it's going to be left align. What I see most primarily is the size. It's a little small, so I think that should probably be a little bit bigger. This definitely will need to be bigger, and I am looking at this in the full actual size. So that's important, but this is going to have to be much bigger. Your logo much bigger. I do like what you've said here. Okay, so links are working. This needs higher contrast, right? We need to be able to read it. I can see it a little better here, but when I roll over it, I can't. So those are considerations. Okay, so you just want to have a few of your best work. So, this is plenty as far as number. And as things go by, you're going to put some of your best. I think these three are actually stronger than these two. This one is not as strong as an image. It may be interesting once I figure out what it is, but because it's out of focus in the foreground, this has just so much more texture to it. And this starts to get lost back here, this, middle ground here. So put your best work at the top. And I think these are that because you've got some focus here and it's out of focus in the back. It's got this warm color that looks good with what you've chosen. That's what I would do. This is interesting too. It's sharp. It's got some direction in it, some reflection. So there's that. Let's see. But you're totally on the right track. Okay. Everyone wants to make sure, I know this isn't your shop, but you would want to make sure all your font, if you own this image and they hired you, that would be sharper. Otherwise, it would be blurred out because you wouldn't own it anyway. Stieglitz, that's a good quote to have, a reputable photographer. Okay, I think a little space can come out, all right? And you guys are going to have a chance to take anything that is a template out. You guys are going to have a chance, all template images out, all text out. You guys are going to have a chance to look at each other's work, link things up to your site. I see you've got it to your Instagram, so either disable the Facebook or link it. All right, so great start. And like I said, you guys are going to have a chance to review one another's work, and you'll get even more feedback from a peer. And I know that's valuable to you. This one, I think I've already given you a little feedback on this, John. This looks good. Probably could be a little bigger, but it's sharp enough. Probably could be just a little bigger. And we want to eliminate all of these pages that we don't actually need. And I discussed with you the ones you need, only about 4, including the home page. A blog is helpful when you have a lot of work and you want to be able to talk about it. You can upload a project and it will have a nice organized place to live, but doesn't have to be involved with your, basic site that tells people right away what you do, the information page. So contact would be last. These would come out. Okay, so your show reel, if you're a cinematographer, is a good idea. and reducing the scroll here. So I know people like one pages, but sometimes they're not as good, especially when this is not frozen and we have to lose our navigation. Take all these images out, they don't belong. And I do like these particular icons because these match. And what constitutes matching is, and this is a little different, but the width of the line. Okay, the way things are treated, that's really important when you're including your icons. So, take this out. I don't think you need a subscription. Not there. And link up to your work, especially LinkedIn, you guys. Okay. And Instagram, if you're on Instagram and have a professional site, and you'll carry all this over to your professional sites, okay, your brand. Okay. So yeah, those are all going to come out, and you're going to put your bio here. All right, so start with this. The kerning is a little, that means the tracking, some people call it. The space between the letters is the kerning, the space between the words is the tracking. This needs to come in just a little. It's a little too stretched out. Sometimes that's just the font. Okay, awesome. Your peer has gone through and looked at some of those things. You just want to make sure that you're not calling yourself a student still and things like that, and all of the spelling is correct, that we don't spend too much time on our childhood. We just want to tell them what kind of attitude we have. We want to tell them what we're capable of doing for them, and that we want to help them, which implies they need us. And we want to then maybe give a little bit about what we would love to do in the future. And that's just one line. So they know what our dreams and goals are, because you never know, it may align with theirs. And so it's an opportunity for you to do that without believing that you could be there tomorrow, right? That you are going to be a space photographer in the morning. These, of course, are coming out. They're template. Update this, that's template. Anything that's template should be gone. All right, for this assignment, it is part of the rubric. Make sure you're looking at those rubrics. This is good. You will want to embed these. And all you have to do is go to that plus sign on the left of your Wix menu. And when you click the plus, you're going to have some options, and you're going to scroll on down and look for embed, and put your videos there. So we're not taking people off of our site. Once we do that, we've lost them. We all know what YouTube is, this black void, of time. So let's not do that. Always keep them on your site. Okay. But the headers, everything is looking great. The black and white is nice and clean. This is falling in the same location. It's all caps. And this is lowercase. But anyway, but do bring it in. You could just say our goal and not have in mind. And you would use the same uppercase as you have here. Okay, and this is fine. That works fine. And this is fine. And we don't need to give them a map. You probably don't want to give people a map. You're putting information out there on the web for just anybody and everybody. And while we think we've not harmed anyone, or no one has a reason to be angry with us, that really doesn't matter, because as one of your instructors, Emily, pointed out to me, crazy can hide. So I don't mean to make everyone paranoid, but let's take our phone numbers off and our location, unless it's a business location that we've been using for some time. But those are things best given when someone reaches you and you understand what their needs are, and you can kind of gauge that a little bit. Okay, just a word of caution. All right. I like that I can read this. This is a little small, but certainly can read this, and I know exactly what you do. You're a filmmaker and director and editor. Perfect. We want to know right away what we're looking for. This is not yours, so let's remove that. Let's remove anything that you are not currently using on social media, although I do recommend you have at least a LinkedIn. Okay. Okay, I like that there's not a lot of scrolling. You just need to, if you want to put a solid background, fine, but we really shouldn't put somebody else's video. That lets people know that, well, we want to let people know that you're able to shoot because that's what we're telling them you do. All right, so that's important. And of course, this happens all the time, happens every month, a lot. Now here we still need to change this. In the feedback when you wrote the paragraph, it sounded like it was written for a different prompt, saying I initially enrolled in this program. Well, the person visiting your site for the first time doesn't know anything about Full Sail, doesn't know anything about cinematography. And so this needs to be rewritten for you, about you. And so it would be about what you do, what you can do for a client completely. Clients don't really care until they know that they are, that there's something that we can do for them. Okay, so that's what you want to use this space for. It is your networking. You're telling them what you can do. All right, and you've told them you're a filmmaker director, so talk just a little bit about that. All right. This is a very known background. Again, if you wanted to use a still of a gray scale or black and white image, that would be great. I'm not opposed to it. It's just that people have seen it a lot. Otherwise, it's working really well. It looks good. I can read the text over it. The contrast is still there. All the tempo, all of that is good. It's just that it's not yours. Okay, and if you were a producer or if you were, some other thing, maybe. But as a filmmaker, you want a picture that you've done. Nice contrast, though. Keep that up and keep looking for things like that. And again, this comes out. If you like this color, choose something this color, or even a background that is a little textured, like this. But as far as this whole image that belongs to somebody else, let's get rid of that. All right, this is a great start. And you're thinking about a blog. When you have a blog, everybody, like I said, it is really good. It's good for SEO because it keeps your work being refreshed and things like that. But you really need to disable it if it's not being used right away. All right, that's important. Okay, good. I like this. I kind of want to see this as the logo only because there's one here and two here. This does have a very fine stroke, but it looks nice. And let's see, image management, we don't really know what you're doing. That's the problem. We need to know exactly what kind of management. Making dreams a reality. This is where you could say what you do. Because right now, I'm not sure, except there's a portfolio. So that might tell me something. When I select about, the links need to link those up. Okay, so you're marketing and branding, digital marketer. Okay, so that's what you want to put right up here, or here. Yeah, you definitely want that in your title. Okay, we don't want them to have to look for it. You're just going to put digital marketing. Okay, and then you can go into details here, which this needs to be bigger. And again, let's take this out. Okay, for now. And link up to your work. And so you do need some work. You've taken out most of the template, so kudos there. But you want to take out the rest, and this should be linked up to your About section, and a portfolio and contact should link up to this page right here. All right? All right, so great start. The layout's good. There's nothing wrong with that. It needs to be a little larger. But just those main things, we want to know exactly what you do, and we need to link up to work and some samples, okay? With your asset guide. Okay, let me see. Okay. All right, interesting. This is not yours, this background. And the thing about videos, you guys, is it's just going to slow your site down when it's coming up. After you've, got it in your cache or something, it's going to be there and it's not going to take long. But for somebody who's logging in for the first time, it's going to take time to load, and you don't want that. Great, let's make this bigger and not so hard to read. All right, it's because of these fine strokes in this particular one, right? So you're going to need larger, unless you have a different font, and even then this is too small. Okay, it needs to be bigger. Okay, let's work on that. That's a little hard to read. You might as well put it here, move this over. Name your files something meaningful, and for SEO that would be something that has to do with maybe your name, or your initial and your last name, or what you do. Pratt Ministries would be a smart thing to put there when somebody's looking for that. This image will come up. Okay, so change these names, everybody. And okay. If you've made this website, you can embed a website. So that would be a good idea, because this is looking good. I don't know that that's your image, but and that's important. Hopefully you have rights to it, but that would be good, like right here at the top. This is sort of split up into little pieces. All right, so you want to put, I believe, this at the top, a little bit bigger, and I would embed it as a website. Okay, you're saying what you do. Okay, so I think this is the template behind here, so we want to get rid of that. And this is about the right amount, except it needs to be bigger, and then it may need to be cut down a little bit. Make sure this is linking, because right now it doesn't seem to be, but this is a button style. Okay, this is okay. Take this off, take the number off. And this particular site, not every site template that we use is perfect. And this is one of them. Every time I see this, I have the student reword this so that it doesn't say. So we can create creative projects together. We don't double up on that term, create creative. Okay, so reword that in a simpler fashion, so we can create together or be fine. Anything like that. Okay. And again, this is stock. Make sure it goes along with what you do, and correct that layering. This image needs to come out. And there's a background or something there. All right, so this is a great shot. Okay, this is so much better than this. Okay, this isn't really doing anything for you. This is. So I would rather see something like that. Just get right into the contact page and, hey, contact me, and give them a little form here. It can be like this rather than your mailing list. I'm not even sure you have a blog or anything for them to subscribe to. So put a form here that looks like this, but it's a form to contact you. And then just have this, in other words, crop all this out, take that out and bring it up. And you can put, contact or something up there. But, this is a sharp image, and it's really strong. It's a good photo. A little blown out here, but compared to everything else, it's so sharp and smiling. It's just really strong. So use that. This isn't doing anything, okay? All right. And while this is pretty, the weight is a little tough to work with, okay? And another great photo. Take this one out. You don't have to have something here. You can just take it out. Okay, this can just be your about. Doesn't have to be much, okay? Great start. Yeah. Just clean this up a little bit, and by that I mean I like these two shots. Bring this up, use this one, and just choose a third. If you shot that, that probably works well. Something that you've done, okay? Take this out. You don't have to have it. Okay, good work. Okay. Okay, I like that. There's so much you could do. I just see this black background and a ghostly type that sort of breaks up and disappears, but that's down the road perhaps. But I like this a lot. It's working. Yeah, okay. Don't have to have much. That lets me know what you do. I'm satisfied with that. Maybe you want that aligned. Maybe you want this all caps. It could go a little smaller, but so that you don't have that descender. You know what I'm saying? It'll make a nice block, a nice rectangle. Here, I would have 2 up, so there's less scrolling, and I would bring this at the top. So this one and this one here, you know, you can bring that up a little bit or whatever you have to do, but have 1 and 2, and then you're going to have your asset guide just nicely underneath it, and yeah, those 2 would go well. All right, and then this one can be, you know, a third one, and then you'll have another one as time goes on. Okay, you want to get rid of this border, but great shot. Okay, a little larger, and try not to have one word on a line. It could be that that's going to reflow. No. Okay, so make sure we edit that so we don't have one on a line there, and a little bigger. This is a different font from this. This is a serif, and this one is not. Okay, so be consistent there. That background I'm not sure is fitting, so make a consistent choice with your backgrounds. Okay, crop that off or enlarge this, something. Okay, all right, great start. Good start. Okay. Alex, let's replace this. It's not, this is part of the template. We've seen it a million times. You've got 3 fonts here. Try to stick with 2. Actually, you've got 4. Okay, 2 fonts, everybody. On this project this size, any more than that is too much. Okay, I wonder if I click these, does it link to a page? Okay. You may want to take these off, disable these, remove them. Unless the works are so big, maybe you're trying to get them to go over here, in which case they need to be linked up. Sometimes the images, videos are just so big that, you know, they take forever to load. Let's left align this for sure. And then just be consistent where you put your headings. And yeah, make this a block to the left, and then keep this by itself, probably to the left. And then these probably need to be larger. And then maybe they don't need this white block, this canvas, right? Okay. Here's what I think would work for you very well. It's left to line that if you're going to do it like this. Here's what I want you to do. For anything like this, for IGTV, I want you to use a cell phone mock-up, like an Apple mock-up, and insert that. It's going to look so much better. If you have, like, say, 3 of these, social media or something, you're going to put like 2 or 3 phone mock-ups and insert that. There's too much space here. Okay, so these can also be shown in desktop mock-ups as well. You don't want them to get small. You want them to get no smaller than this, maybe a little larger. So I'm not sure you need this white space here. Maybe you have the phone here and 2 of these here, and you align them. You can see how this is not aligned. This begins here, and this begins up here. This would align. So once you get those mock-ups, see how those play out for you, but start them all at the same line. All your images and text start at the same place. All right. But it's a really good start, and consider using different options for your icons here. Maybe white ones would work well for you. That is within their brand style guide. They'll let you do that, except for this one. Take this off. Reword this. Okay, put a form. You can put this down at the bottom, or yeah. Yeah, remove that. You can put your name there. Okay. So let's have a different font that's easier to read. This image is going to probably be bigger. This is definitely all going to be left aligned, and you're not going to have it so close. You're going to have consistent space between your block of text and your straight edge here of your photo. This is getting lost in all of this, okay? And it looks like it's probably a good shot. So let's make this bigger. And you can make just a black background. That's got to go. I just see it all the time. So update that a little bit. Hard to read that font. In the future, try not to cut people's faces off, okay? In fact, you probably could cut a little more off so it's not as obvious, and we can see what it is you're actually looking at here. Okay. This is a good shot. Let's have this on this side though, so it's not looking off the page. And consider a mock-up. Or yeah, start working out with this. Make this larger. You might want to cut at least 5 more lines out of this. Make the font less script, so it's a little more legible. And you're going to need a little bit of you're going to need an asset guide for these. Okay, tell us a little bit about what you did and so forth. Align this. Your spacing needs to be equal. This is everybody. These are things you're going to see and get better at. Put your contact at the end as a web standard and bring your about over here. Okay, so we have these on another page, so let's not do that. Okay, so if you want to stick to weddings and commercial, that's fine. Eventually, they'll probably be 2 different sites one day. You'll have that much work, okay? All right. Okay, let's have this not be on one line. Make it just a little bigger. See how this overlaps? And it's really hard to read here, so we're going to need to correct that contrast and size, weight. This should wrap up here probably instead of being one word by itself, unless this breaks here and is here. This is also getting lost in the contrast. Take a little bit of space out here. Love this shot. Little bit of space out here. Okay. You need, in this font would be fine. It's kind of light, but you need your asset guides here to tell us what these are about. But otherwise, you know, I'm satisfied with that. This green is like out of nowhere. I wouldn't use that. You've got this color that you're working with. So use a gold or nothing or black and a cream or something, but not the green. Okay. And then you'll know what to do, but dismiss all that, get rid of all that. Not sure about that. Disable all of these. They're not going to your work. Okay, now it's really hard for me to see what we're doing here. We're not linked up to your work. We're not linked up. We are linked up to your about page. Not linked up to your work. In fact, it goes backwards. So that's an issue there. Okay, so make sure that you anchor your work to right here. And you've got a few different fonts. You've got this one and this one. So think about that. All right, but it's a great start. This isn't your image, I'm convinced. So that you want to replace with something that you took. You know, go outside, find something. Go during the golden hour and shoot something that's in focus and out of focus in the back. All right, and see what you come up with. Okay, all right. Okay, this one I think you know, all these templates have to come out and all these things, all of it, and then put your, take out, there's way too many of these things. You don't need a book online or a fan gallery. Contact goes last. You don't need news and events right now, and or a menu. Okay, so take all these out. And if you don't have something here yet, disable that, but you might want that one day. And yeah, take all the placeholders out. Find 3 of your best works, either student work or work that you've done on the outside. And that's where you want to put these things. And again, go outside, you know, during the great time of day when the light is amazing. You're in Florida, some of you. You're not, probably. Because I don't remember if you're a campus student or not, I'm sorry, but wherever you are, there are beautiful, beautiful places that you could film. So go out, take your camera, and get some shots, all right? There are a few things that everybody at this stage must be doing, and that is the contrast needs to be there, the composition needs to be there, the focus needs to be there, okay? Okay, I like this font a lot, this. I know exactly what you do when I look at this. You have your asset guide. Okay, I don't think you need that. Well, I mean, you don't really need that. This is a little hard to read, but okay. Something a little less decorative would be good. I remember some of these. As you, or I think I've seen some, as you go through, all of you, and you're creating more work for yourself, consider a style guide for yourself, one font that you use for titles when you are in charge of that. Okay, so that when you put them together, they all are consistent with your brand. So choose a simple font that can represent you throughout consistently. All right? I don't think I'm done here. Okay, I like this. This has got to move a little bit. Great photo. A little more alignment. And okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, so great. You want to make sure that your logo is consistent, even if it's something like, a photo or something, or this font. Whatever you're going to do, make it consistent so your brand is consistent throughout. Okay. We've got round buttons and square buttons, and just a little bit more consistency is what I want to see. All right. Align this. I think this probably needs to be left aligned, just so we can kind of clean up some sections here. Okay, I do like this image. Always put your best work first, and it might be this one as far as the image, unless you have another thumbnail here. Okay, all right, terrific start, and you link up, and that's perfect. Nice work. Okay, all right. Let's make this larger, Digital Media Specialist. Let's make that easier to read. Okay, good. You might just need your links here. I'm not sure you need your email there. So it breaks things up a lot. So I would take that off, and your contact will need to go at the end. I know you have this other work, and when you have a drop down, it's important that there's space. Okay. So this looks like your Full Sail portfolio as far as your blog. That's not exactly what you want. You want to just put your finished pieces, but not your Rise peer reviews and everything that you've done. Okay, just put 3 works that you want more work in. Okay. Okay. So disable this because, okay, so we have this, that's great, but we're having to click too much to get to it. So this would be a blog taking all this off or cleaning it up in a way where there's less scrolling. Okay. Again, that's going to go at the end. This is going to be part of your blog. Okay. Probably. It's really very similar. These two things are similar. This is better visually. The layout's better. I can't speak to the writing because I haven't read it all, but I get it. Are these yours or are these placeholders? It's sometimes hard for me to tell, especially if the quality is there, and the quality is here. So I hope that they're all yours, in which case, kudos. Okay. Yeah. Sorry there. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I think what you want to do is just reduce the number of pages. You want to, it looks to me like you are primarily short story and some photography. So I would have, you could either say words or little victories. Portfolio is not really, that's not really telling us much about what it is you really do, which looks like it's writing. This is 14 pages. Those could be downloads so that you don't have to have so much scrolling, because I don't know that they need to scroll on your site or go through all of these. However, you might have all of these on one page that these are scripts. So you could say, scripts, and have, when you go to that page, you've got, maybe there's a mock-up you could use for that, but they could, have a download also. You'd have to lay it out nicely, but it would all be simple on one page. Just something to think about. But photos almost would go under other work because you're really spreading out here. And I know it's hard because you've got a couple of umbrellas here, but we've got to make one umbrella. That's good. No scrolling. Not much scrolling. Too much scrolling, and it looks like, an earlier blog. So that's not quite right. This could be cleaned up to be more like this. So those could probably come out. Move that over to the end. You could have this and photos, and then other work could be scripts. And when you select that, you have the options for downloads. Okay, short stories, scripts. That's what I think would work for you. All right, but it's really strong otherwise, and I know it's hard when you have so many skills, right? So you'll get there, and it's going to be good. And it's going to be good this month, right? Okay, great job. That, this can be in your social media links or something. All right. Let's bring this up, close this up a little bit, not use this particular style, but just use words, I think. This is good. It's a good shot. These are good thumbnails. Well, okay. Good, good, good. Good, good. Little deeper here, a little bigger maybe. Okay, so this is duplicated. Let it go for now because it's not because it's otherwise well done. Make sure this is not on one line by itself, whatever you have to do. Okay. It's a little bit of space here in scrolling. We might be able to bring that up here. When you have people who take your photo, if it's not you, give them a little buy credit there. That's for everybody. Okay, so when we disable the blog, make sure that we also take it out of the navigation. And really that's where you can disable it. And then your contact. Good. Okay, so here we have, this needs to be centered a little bit. Okay, maybe that should be red. So here we have an issue where we've got this, which is acting like a logo, and this. This is stronger. But, if I were you, I guess I would use that here. And it doesn't tell us the name, but it does here. So that's something you could do. But this is definitely stronger. Okay. Okay. All right. Great start. Just a couple of things. All right. Very good. All right. So I'm very happy with the progress you guys have made in just 1 week. And you're going to keep getting there until most of you are really going to like what you finish with. Okay. And so good luck. Contact me if you have any questions. Please don't phone me because I get way too many spam calls. So, but you can text me and let me know that you need me to call you. You can also message me. When you do ask for an extension or message me, please do it in the assignment feedback so that I have that there as a reminder when I go to grade, and so that I can, contact you back. All right. All right. Great job, everybody. Good luck.